What's the most overrated thing you can think of? Go.
Me.
Ooh, no, the answer is Chipotle.
Oh,
It's
there's a big.
next on Ugly
Oh.
Thirds.
Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic will be overrated jerseys of the Reverse Retro 2.0. John and Shrem, take it away.
Missed opportunity, Phil. You should have done that in the dark.
You also missed the opportunity to say Chick-fil-A. There's
Hey,
fighting
let's
words.
not take
Popeyes
this.
for life.
You know what? Let's not take this too far.
Okay.
Just turn off the computer and the TV and all the ones.
Computer's gonna shut down momentarily anyway. Do you know how much processing here? Like,
Are
it's
you not wearing a headset?
God.
Oh my god!
we're not redoing it. This is take.
That's why I didn't put it back
this is
on.
Take one of
Well,
one.
so there's a lot of overrated jerseys in this, and because we only one jersey per, like you can't repeat in this list. So
Yeah.
8 episodes, 8 lists, no repeats. That was the goal. And so some of the ones that should have been on other lists, like worst of, made it here because people love them, even though we can't figure out why.
I learned so much about this jersey that's coming up first.
Now, look,
in the past
this one I
20
don't
minutes.
hate. I can't bring myself to love it. And I love vintage jerseys with tons of stripes. Something about this is just very meh in my life.
Now, it makes you wonder, like, you are a new team. What could you possibly be throwing back to? And I know the answer, I know what the answer should be.
The Metropolitans.
The Metropolitans. And I know why they didn't, because they're getting
Upcoming Winter Classic.
fantastic. So what in Sam Hill is this thing, John?
This goes back to the 1951 Seattle Iron Men.
Oh, of course! The Iron Men! The hot dog people!
Which you can pre-order this from Vintage Ice Hockey. They do good things. But whew, what a look. That logo. It is a hot dog man. He's an iron lung come to life. Like what?
He's like the original Iron Man drawing.
So
yeah, I guess like the original Iron Man comic looks more like that.
This is great value.
Robert Downey
of,
Jr.
Iron
is
Man.
not playing that role. I mean that's the look, and I guess they more or less did it. I mean this is a little more Northwestern stripey than that, but I mean maybe different years. I mean things there's such little variations.
They don't even mention that on the website. Like the NHL website fails to recognize that is the base for all of this. They put it here, 1951, but nowhere did they explain what that 1951.
I mean,
is.
they don't mention the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball, the hockey team when the Winter Classic. They just said baseball, baseball, baseball. So there's that. The NHL is bad at what they do with history, which is why if you need a historian, call me. Anyways, I just I can't bring myself to love it.
People love it because it's new.
Yeah, I think that's a big part.
People
It is
love
flashy blue, like it's what else is sea foam? Looks like a refrigerator from the 50s.
People love it because Seattle is new. Like they could have walked out in an all seafoam jersey and people would have went nuts for it.
It could, yeah, whatever they put out was going to sell out.
As with any expansion team,
so
it makes sense.
It's overrated. I don't think it's horrific. It's overrated.
Speaking of overrated,
you hate this thing.
I think it's stupid.
I like the concept. This all nearly made it to my good idea, bad execution.
But you're reversing to something that doesn't exist.
What is that thing, Phil?
Boom.
Am I showing it or am I talking about
it? Well, yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
John pointed like an hour ago. Like he even snapped, and he's like,
"People
bam.
love when you snap at them."
Yeah. So this is to the 1966 prototype when they were forming the Blues.
So the original photo when they were selling the concept of the team is the jerseys on the left, which is where this comes from. By the time they reached the ice in '67, they were wearing what's on the right, and the blue one's the back of it for reasons.
Thank goodness they did.
So yeah, like the blue note, much more toned down, much more regal, and it's more or less been that. It's gotten refined, but that's it. It's been that like. Whereas the Flyers just got it right first.
Yeah.
This took some evolution, but the idea was always correct.
Right. So I understand the idea of how difficult it was to throw back to something that hasn't changed much.
And well, but I mean, they had like the blues across. And there were a lot of silly ideas they could hit. They already did the sheet music one,
Yeah,
which did not look great. We hated that.
the whole, but that concept that was always there, like the horns, the
I mean, they could have done that Never Warn. Yeah, if they're gonna do Never Warn, how about that one?
but I don't know if they even came to terms with that actually being a thing. Like that was I don't know if that's even confirmed, but this is confirmed as given the
I
photographs.
can tell you that jersey is not in their offices. I went to those offices. They wouldn't let me in first off. So I said,
You walked into somebody's office?
yeah, the St. Louis Blues offices at the arena. I walked in, asked around. They wouldn't let me in. They're like, and so I had to email some people. They're like, no, I'm sorry, it isn't on display, despite what they tell you. So, but they went so they went to this prototype, and it's an interesting thought, and but like gold, like I would have loved to have seen this as a Winter Classic because they're running out of those ideas
Yeah, they
in
are.
blue or white. Um, or you make it a third jersey and riff a bit, but like why replace that perfect third they have the throwback jersey they have now? Like it's gold. It's yellow. It's not even gold, it's yellow.
But
And this is a very light blue.
you see them at
So
the
much.
arena, at the games and stuff. Like people ate this up, and even online, the sentiment online was that these were great, and I'm an idiot for what I believe.
You know what else people don't talk about? That why do we have a box just for the Adidas logo?
So it
I thought we
pops.
left that behind in Reebok.
The Reeboks.
If you get it in Fanatics, is it just an empty block? Like
I believe so, actually, because that's how it is on some of the other ones.
it's a bit. I hate things like that where, oh, let's show off the brand. Who cares who made it? I don't care.
Oh, you're gonna care in about a year and a half.
Let's get to the last
One more.
one because this was on the worst of list. This might have been number one on your worst of list,
Yeah,
but I kicked it here because everyone loves it.
I don't understand
I
why.
don't understand why either.
Detroit.
Now, Phil, when was this thrown back to?
It's 1991, the NHL 75th anniversary, with a nod to the 1920 Detroit Cougars.
Oh yeah, the Cougars. How could I forget about the Cougars?
Well, it would have been 26 at the earliest because that's when they were founded. But I digress. Okay. This jersey. So they wore this jersey in 1991 when the NHL did all the original 6 teams wore throwbacks. And when they played each other, they wore the throwbacks. They got red and blue games
Oh,
in
it was
Toronto.
fantastic.
It was a really cool event. I'm working on getting all of them. Like, that's one of the things I want. This jersey I actually love. I think it's weird. It's all sorts of weird and it belongs in the past, but that's what a throwback is for. It's
Right.
one or two games. Haha, look at this. Isn't this cool?
Yeah.
But like, where did the black come from? Why? You flip this. You do this exactly right. You do this exactly this, but flipped. I buy it. I buy it first day. Why? Why do they make this so much more dark and muddy? Looks too much like Chicago's.
It 100% does. But Chicago's was about here, and Detroit is down here.
And there's no
a little
Detroit
bit.
musical that I know of. So I mean, it just something about like it just looks so. It looks like a Nike Team Canada reject that people would also complain about for being terrible.
Canada.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's you could. There is no fun to this. They tried a gritty reboot. This is the this is like a bad Batman movie of the Detroit Red Wings.
Both of theirs were so low effort. The first one came out, you're like, well, Detroit forgot to do the assignment. Like they just didn't do it. And then you make excuses. You're like, well, Detroit isn't a dynamically diverse logo to begin with. Their jersey history is very, straightforward and
It's the same
simple.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
uniform for sure. And then this comes out, and I venture a guess to say most people who are jersey collectors will recognize the one that you just had because that was like the first time that you saw like special event jerseys.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow, that's cool. And the Bruins had the B and everything.
And the Red Wings were really starting that the Russian 5 era.
Yeah.
You know, they were really on the rise. And pictures of Steve Yzerman and that, like, it really hit.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Chicago? Is it Detroit?
There's no fun to this in any way, shape, or form,
No.
and that's like it just.
What a diverse group of awful things here.
That are loved. Probably because
no,
they're
people do like them.
colors. People like. I don't know. I don't want to be dismissive, but at the same time, it's like
Seafoam.
way overrated.
Phil, you're not. You didn't turn the lights off.
I am not.
Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and chuck that suggestion.
We have a short.
Who's Chuck?
So, did you hire someone to replace me?
The ficus.
They did not show up today, which is stunning because they said they had something better to do, which is also stunning.
At least they didn't call. No, they're working from home. We. And on that note, ponder that quandary. He's Shrems. I'm John. Phil, take us out.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in for another episode of Ugly Thirds.